Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at Homestead Miami Speedway for the finale of the 2018 season for the NRSL Mountain Dew For the Win Cup Series season. I am joined for the first time by Charles Sanford here in the booth. Give a warm welcome to Charles. This is his first time doing a race with me here in the booth.
Yeah, it's hopefully not the last either. Glad to be here for finale at Homestead. Such a good track usually to end it on, and really enjoy it here usually. So can't wait to see what happens.
Yep, and we're here to decide the fate of the championship, but on the pole for the second week in a row is the 03 of Charles Sanford. Starting next to him is one of our Final Four contenders, Jonny Gardner. Gardner finished ninth here last season, second out of the Final Four. He's the only driver repeating a Final Four appearance. In row 2 is Zach Rogers and Samet Oskin. Row 3 is Michael Amato and Peter Sands. Row 4 is Emmanuel Hartnett, DJ Curtis, and in row 5 is Alex Gray and another contender, Seth Cole. So Charles, when you come to a track like Homestead, obviously every type of speedway has tire fall off. What is the best strategy when you tackle this track, especially for 121 laps?
Well, I usually just try and settle into a groove, get my own race going, because usually just try and get going. I try and usually make the tires last for a fuel run. That way I don't have to worry about it, and try and just take it easy and get tires. Just develop a long run usually is where I like for it. I don't know. I'm never usually that good at Homestead anyway.
All right, rest of our Final Four contenders. Jonathan Zoerlein starting 19th on the inside line. Good vantage point for him there. But Cole Deaver will start from 38th place. So Deaver, the rookie underdog, out of the Final Four drivers, has his work cut out for him. One of the Final Four drivers last season finished 31st here, so Deaver definitely probably not wanting to do that. Last year we had 3 Fords. A Ford took home the title. This year we have 3 Chevys. So Chevy horsepower seems to be the top dog this year, Charles.
Yeah, it certainly does, which bodes well. I always usually love seeing when the Chevys do good, as you can tell, because I always run a Chevy anyway if I can. So, should be interesting to see what they can do this year. And who knows, might actually be playing in the hands of that Ford, though, with Chevy having to spread so much resources out there.
Up in Dodge, who was very unsuccessful back in 2017, has won 12 races this year. As we go trackside for the command of final engines for the last time in 2018. And a great command there to cap off the end of the 2018 season. Let's get ready to rumble indeed. Couple of drivers, big names who have not won in 2018, who won multiple times in 2017, including this man right here in the 24 of Michael Amato, who won 2 races last season. He comes into this race, most likely his last of his career. The team owner of Hendrick Motorsports most likely not returning in 2019. And Charles, as a team owner slash driver, what are the hardships that such a person experiences?
What I've found them to be is usually trying to balance the fun part of racing, just having fun out there, and then also the finance at the end of the day, making sure the pocketbook is still happy as well.
Zach Rogers, another team owner right here. We've actually got 3 team owners lined up right on the inside line. Rogers has also not won since his win at Papyrus in 2017. Sanford won a few weeks ago at Texas. He's looking for his second win on the season. They're going to lead him off of turn 4. Will this be the last time we see the green flag in 2018? We're about to find out. Green flag is out. It's time to decide a champion. One lap complete, coming around turn 4. Zach Rogers fighting for the lead with Sanford. They're 3 wide in the back.
And it's going to be Rogers who ends up leading lap 1. Not one of the guys that we're really going to be worried too much about today. Who is that 3-wide back there?
I believe that is the 2212 and the 34.
I saw 22. I was looking actually farther back.
Almost 3 wide for a split second there up front here. As Amato's going to charge for the lead here, but it looks like Rogers is still clear.
At the line at least, yeah.
Manuel Hartnett, another driver up here in the top 5 who has not won in his career at all yet. Could be looking for career win number 1 here today in the finale.
Looks like Gardner well, actually, just I was going to say, Gardner finally gets that inside line there going into turn number 3. Looks to be able to kind of get into a groove now.
Gardner currently the top dog up here. Caleb Hoffman, who won this title last season, also without a win in his career so far. He won this title without winning a single race. However, this season we've got all multi-race winners in the Final Four. So definitely a completely different playing field and expectations here today.
And from what I noticed, everyone that was in the Final Four also winning on a great variety of tracks too. See the road courses, the super speedways in there, basically anything and everything.
Seth Cole, arguably one of the top drivers all season long. Only won on a road course and a super speedway. However, he was performing very well earlier in the season on speedways. As right now, things are now looking good here on the top 3 wide with Deanna Jones and Diego Yepes.
Yeah, just maybe trying to get that outside line working. Maybe that's where his car is most comfortable early on. Because I don't think anyone would really want to voluntarily go 3 wide.
Seth Cole, the only driver out of the Final Four with pulls on the season, and he had 4 of them in total. He continues to fall back. Cole Deaver is making his way towards the 42 on the bottom.
Yeah, starting to work his way back up. It's one of the bright sides to starting at the back and all that I found, because if you start at the back, usually you're able to get to that inside line within the first couple laps, and really sets up well for a good race if you're one just kind of relax a little bit.
Jonathan Zoerlein, another driver with multiple wins on the season, now finds himself on the top after starting in 19th place. Things are not looking good for anybody except the 32 of Jonny Gardner. Meanwhile, Andrew Rich, who was eliminated after Pensacola due to being in a wreck, is on the inside line here. He's looking for what would be win number 8, extending his single season record.
Oh, geez. It's a lot of wins to not be in the Final Four for this format.
Indeed, even with those 35 playoff points entering round 3, a bad first race at Texas did not help things. Bad strategy call halfway through the race at Rockingham made it even worse, and then to cap it off, they got involved in the wreck at Pensacola, so things just not going right at all for Andrew Rich in round 3. Looking to make it up today and end his season with a bang as Jonny Gardner's going 3 wide up front. That's for second place. So Alex Gray has taken the race lead away from Michael Amato.
Clearly, Gardner wanted to take a little bit more risk than I probably would if I was in his seat with where those other 3 title contenders are.
Gardner, the only one in the top 5, let alone the top 10. Alex Gray won all the way back at Richmond in the spring. Gray looking for what would be his second win on the season, 4th in his career. He won 2 races last season. Alex Gray not set to return to the 3, but he will be with RCR in the form of the 33, as rookie Cole Deaver will move to the 3 car. Teams not really changing personnel-wise, just numbers changing inside that stable.
That's always good. Keep the good chemistry going, especially if you've got one team that makes the Final Four. Try and keep them always usually together.
Deaver will begin his 2nd season next year with partnership from GM Goodwrench Wrangler, and another that is yet to be announced as Jonny Gardner is going for the race lead on Alex Gray here on lap number 12.
Maybe someone told him that bonus points would have mattered.
Gardner, who started in second place, fell back to about 6th or 7th, started gaining all that ground back, and now he's in the front of the field. Peter Sands is inside the top 5 in 5th. Another driver yet to have a win on his career. Here comes the first rookie to win a race in 2018, Joshua Osborne. Went to make a move, couldn't quite get it. Now will fall back in line in 6th place. Osborne is also 5th in points heading into the race today, looking to be the top out of all eliminated drivers. He's got about a 23-point gap over 6th place in points of TJ Hanley. Starting the single file out all the way up here. Guess it's riding time, Charles.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. I don't blame too many of them. Maybe feel at the car. Something maybe just didn't feel right or something. I don't know. Of course, also 14 laps in, maybe this is about the point where we might see some comers and goers as well.
Indeed, about halfway through the run as Osborne gets a pretty good run mid-corner here off of 4. Trying to work his way into the top 5.
I noticed that Tide car back there also got a good run off of turn number 4.
And Austin Alves have been working their way up through the field. And Charles, I failed to mention it to you, but the point system in this series is 50 for the win, 47 for second, 45 for third, 42 for fourth, and then 40 for fifth and a point down. Drivers still get 1 point for leading a lap and another point for leading the most. So for those racing for 17th and those racing for 5th, those extra points inside the top 4 can be very helpful.
Yeah, and plus still fighting for that momentum going into next season, whether it be you're staying with the same team, changing teams, or maybe even still trying to just get a ride for next season as well.
Speaking of teams changing, Roush Racing, the 6, 16, and 17 will be driving BMWs next season, and we'll be throwing back to old paint schemes. Rand sponsors are coming back for this renaissance as BMW will become the 6th manufacturer in the series in 2019. Austin and DJ Curtis both set to return to their rides.
That kind of kills that whole momentum because then you almost lose it a little bit with the switching and make, but BMW, I'm sure, already having most of their stuff planned out. Should be interesting to see how they can do.
We're seeing it's getting very tough. Osborne's still working hard up front to get by Peter Sands, but Austin Alves is not wasting any time as he passes Charles Sanford for 7th place.
Yeah, and even then that move still took a little bit, took some setting up, and you could see the gap develop between the 70 and the 03, so clearly 03 holding up the 16 at the very least.
Very interesting to point out as it took a little time for Alves to get around the 03. The 53 wasted no time at all, followed them right by in one corner. Osborne has made it by Sands for 5th. So he continues to move his way up the field. Gardner not really pulling away from Alex Gray, but he's holding on to that lead for now.
And it looks like that outside line off of through 3 and 4 is what really moves really well.
Let's get an update on our other contenders. Let's find the 5 of Jonathan Zoerlein. What's going on with him? Ooh, 3 wide still for the 5 as he falls back deeper in the field. Let's see, where is the 42 of Seth Cole? Oh man, he has fallen all the way back to 38th. Cole Deaver not doing too much better, just barely outside the top 30. So Gardner looking really good right now after he came up just short in 2017 to get his first title. And very interesting enough, Gardner, who drove for a single car team Ford last season, his team Go Fast, Richard Petty, and Front Row all merged together to form a 4-car team. 3 of those cars have won this season, 2 of which multiple times, Gardner and Fitzwater. And that team will switch to Chevy for 2019. So very interesting to see if Gardner will win a title with Ford just to switch to Chevy in next season.
Well, that'd be one way to stick it to them, but hey, they always say there are powers in numbers, so those guys certainly proving it.
Ford really losing out, though. They're going to lose four cars right there from that team, and then they're going to lose 3 from Roush, so things might be looking a little tough for Ford. They've really got to pick it up. They have not shown a lot of power this year, though. They have won 10 races. Speaking of drivers on this team, Kev Shearer sits in last place.
Well, I guess that's kind of fitting for him.
The driver changes include John Arndt, sticking with Hendrick, but will drive the 05. In 2019, the 88 was given up to Go Fast Petty Enterprises. Alex Ferranti, who currently drives the 88, will be in the 48 next season. Same thing going on, like with RCR, just teams changing numbers.
That doesn't surprise me, though, about Ferranti going to the 48. Well, that's a pretty decent lead, dang.
Gardner and Alex Gray continuing to pull away as, oh man, look at this. Austin Alves and Andrew Rich have pushed their way towards the top 5. Alves is trying to pass a model for 4th.
I was gonna say, yeah, that looks like to be for 4th, and another, you can still see that gap there, so clearly also 53 was getting held up by the 03 as well.
As we have movers, we have goers, and the goer seems to be pole sitter Charles Sanford.
Like I said, not very good at Homestead.
Rich is really looking. Rich might have one of the best cars on the track.
Definitely good long run speed there, which bodes well. Especially moving ahead to the second run here should be a matter of just laps.
Should be about 5 to 7 laps until you see these guys pit. Maybe early, don't know.
If you don't have a good handling car, one of the cars that's fallen, I wouldn't be surprised to do like a little bit of short pit. Maybe get fresher tires, get an adjustment.
Austin Alves is going to make his way into 3rd here if he can get by the 20, and he does just that.
And that's going to freight train the 20 back to probably about the 6th spot, or maybe even 7th by the time he finally gets back in line.
There's a bit of a gap between Rich and Amato. He might be able to hop down.
Looks like it.
Andrew Rich, another driver, not changing teams, but changing numbers. Rich does some local dirt track racing in his hometown in the state of North Carolina, and he will be switching to the 23 for this series. Sponsors, as far as sponsors go for Rich, they expect Jack Daniels to return, but is uncertain if Tide will as well. Peter Sands set to return in the 12 next season. Hartnett's future remains uncertain.
It's always the interesting part about when you get the final race of the season is who's going where and all that.
Interesting thing about Joe Gibbs Racing is the only team with 3 cars off the top of my head that has 2 open slots right now. For 2019, Truck Series champion Philip Goldberg driving the 18 is not set to return. He has not won a race since Bristol of 2017. He currently rides 15th though here today. So the lights have started to come on.
And 3 wide just behind him.
Is Dylan Young in the 2. Young will continue to drive for his Team Penske in the 2 machine. That team has an opening at the 22 car for 2019. 95 is still undecided on who will drive their ride next year. But Matthew McIntyre, a rookie, has definitely shown promise and could land anywhere. And then we've got defending champion Caleb Hoffman. Will return in 2019, but still looking for that first career win, even though he's a champion.
That is very ironic, considering the system to have been able to pull off what Ryan Newman couldn't.
very interestingly enough, as we're at lap 32, no one has pit yet, but even though we're in the pack, you look to the top right of your screen, Hoffman's best lap of 28.79 and his last lap of 31.27, so about 2.5 seconds of fall off here. We'll go back
yeah, but
up
everyone's just kind of, oh, there we go. I was going to say, everyone is just kind of playing that risk versus reward at this point. Don't want to be, you don't want to pit and then have the yellow come out on you, so.
An interesting thing, three of the goers, Andrew Rich, Austin Alves, and Joshua Osborne, all pit on the same strategy as leader Jonny Gardner, and those seem to be the 4 fastest cars on the racetrack. Alex Gray stayed out a lap. He'll pit this time by Peter Sands following, Hartnett following, Amato following. This is the last of the top 10, I believe.
Looks like basically everyone pitting this time if they didn't pit last time.
Zoerlein comes down. It looks like Deaver and Seth Cole went down the first time. So everyone's down pit road. We'll take a break and we'll be back for the rest of the racing. Back here at Homestead, cyclist complete new race leader, Austin Alves, passed Jonny Gardner after coming out of pit road. And he also has the fastest lap on the race, and teammate DJ Curtis was second, but Diego Yepes just knocked him down to third.
Always funny how that usually goes, where you're going to talk about something. Usually someone just kind of jumps in there for you.
Field order has definitely spread out. Alves and Gardner coming out first out of their group. Osborne, Rich third and fourth. DJ Curtis.
Big change there for the 17.
Roush doing a pretty good job today between Alves and Curtis. Both drivers made the playoffs. Curtis made it to the round of 8. Alves, I believe, was eliminated after the round of 12. But Alves, with his win at Rockingham, is the one who has 2 wins on the season. And now it is good to note that Alex Gray is the first of all drivers who pit on the second stint. There was only 2 groups. Usually we have 3 on speedways, but tonight we only seem to have 2 right now. So when
that was just the first pit cycle.
Oh, yeah, and indeed, and those groups will expand to 3, maybe 4 on the next 2 cycles. We should have at least everyone pit 3 times here tonight. Gray should slowly get better, theoretically. The tire wear is not major here as it is at other tracks, so time will tell. Back, Peter Sands 7th, Zach Rogers in 8th. Dylan Young has found his way into the top 10, as has Deanna Jones. That's that whole strategy of pitting 1 lap earlier than everybody else. You gain about that 2.5 to 3 seconds.
And it's just a matter of whether or not you lose it by the end of the run.
Let's see where everyone is. We know Deaver and Seth Cole pit on the first group. Deaver sitting 25th place.
That's a big improvement for where we last saw him.
Seth Cole sits 42nd, so bad pit stop for the 42 team. Oh, man.
Well, they just want to match their number.
Where? Oh, my gosh. And where is Jonathan Zoerlein? 32nd. Oh, so things are looking pretty good.
Bad pit stop for him, too.
Things are looking pretty good for Jonny Gardner right now.
Gardner. Maybe that's why they just go ahead. Maybe he just let the 16 go by. They said, hey, everyone else had a bad pit stop, and you just relax.
Speaking of drivers we talked about earlier in the race who have not won.
I said I was bad. There it is, 28th.
Oh, 29th, actually.
It was 29th? Oh. I thought you said 32nd for Zoerlein, so bad counting.
James Shelley won this race last year, but this year it's not looking too good for the driver of the one. Shelley will return for Chip Ganassi next year. That team actually expands to 4 drivers for 2019. The 1, the 8, and the 42 will all return, and the new car, the 40, is set to join the stable. They will remain Chevy SS. Cody Hagan, a rookie who drove the 8 this season, is not set to return in the 8. It'll be a new rookie by the name of Andrew Miller, stepping in the role of that ride. James Qualls' team will stay the same as far as we know, 27 in the 70, same drivers, same cars, same schemes as far as we know.
It's about traditional though, so it feels right to have those two rides.
Eli Bright in the 37. Now this team right here, the 37 and the 47, are set to be Toyotas in 2019 and have not announced their plans. No one is set to drive for them. In fact, the driver of the 47 machine, TJ Hanley, is rumored to go to Hendrick Motorsports, though it is unknown what car he will be driving. However, the big rumor is it will be the 24 since team owner Michael Amato is stepping away from driving duties. Hanley is one of the top rookies who has not won in 2018, who has shown very good promise, made it to the round of 8 and sits 6th in points heading into this race. So Charles, what do you have to say? This man comes into this season as a rookie. He hasn't won, but he's shown great promise in a middle tier team ride. Who knows, this man could be the next Andrew Rich in 2019. You know, Rich won 7 races. He didn't win a single race last year. So, I mean, things can be pretty unpredictable. You never know what these drivers go through over the offseason.
True. And if he takes over the 24, maybe just gets that, you have the change in equipment, getting an increase there. Not to mention just change of scenery sometimes is always good enough. I don't know, I've been able to speak with him in the garage area every once in a while. Seems really down to earth, so I'd be cheering him on if that happened.
Deaver right here in 25th, kind of closing in slowly. Gardner, as we've been talking about other people, Gardner has taken the lead back from Austin Alves and is actually pulling away from the looks of things.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Alves possibly abusing his tires maybe in the beginning of this run. And Andrew Rich has fallen to 6th.
Of course, maybe the 16 just good for the first couple laps and just better as well on 25 or plus laps too. So we saw him really start to get strong at the end of that last run.
Watching the scoring loop, Osborne and these others back here, Curtis, Gray, and Rich, are drafting their way up to the back of the 16. We know Gray has 1 lap fresher tires than all these guys. Things could get very interesting here. It is only the 2nd stint though. We're going to have a total of 4. The last one should be only about 20 laps.
A lot of adjustments you can make for a 20-lap run.
Pitting early could be the winning strategy on that run. But Gray is showing we're only just about 19 laps, actually no, more like 17 laps in on this 2nd run, and Gray's right here in 5th, only 1.2 seconds behind the leader. So for a 20-lap run, it is possible as long as the right people pit with him on that final pit stop, as long as this race goes green.
Looks like maybe 16 just a bad adjustment on 2nd stick, because now the 70-17 have both caught him. And we know that the 16 was quicker than the 70 on that first run.
And Alves loses about another 10th. But meanwhile, as Osborne, Curtis, and Gray draft up to the 16, they have been gaining on Jonny Gardner. So Gardner probably might want to just chill out right now, maybe save his stuff a little bit.
Or just not even worry about these guys anyway. They're not his competition tonight.
Curtis was right on the bumper of Joshua Osborne. Let's take a lap on board with 7-time race winner Andrew Rich. Tires are about a second off a fast lap, so this is very good to see how you got to drive the car halfway through a run. Alex Gray being very aggressive.
And getting underneath Osborne now there. And passing Curtis.
very good show of what the track is like. So now Osborne will fall as he could not make a move around Alves. Gray clearly got impatient. Curtis follows past his teammate in the 16. Now Osborne will pass the 16. That'll send him back to 5th. And Jonny Gardner is still right here. So Alex Gray, while at this point, if the last run is about a 20-lap run, Gray is still right here. He's that close. Let's say the last run is 25 laps. It would be about 4 to go right now, I believe. And Gray would be right here for that race win. It would be very interesting if this is how the finish ends up.
Keyword if. Still a long way to go. Not even halfway yet home in this one.
Yep, still another 5 laps until we get to that halfway marker. 55 laps down though. Gardner clearly has been dominant, showing why he should be the champion. Now Gardner will break another record, or set another record. Him and Andrew Rich are both tied for the most intermediate wins at 5 apiece. Gardner won 3 intermediate races in 2017. This would be the 6th intermediate win for Jonny Gardner, if he can pull it off. And Andrew Rich also would be looking for that 6th intermediate when he sits in 5th. So Alves falls to the back, and he is starting to fall back. I think he really did abuse his tires. Meanwhile, the group behind these guys, led by Dylan Young, has been slowly closing in. I believe these guys also pit the same lap as Alex Gray.
Well, it'd be interesting to also maybe see if maybe those guys were catching just because they were behind the 16.
They are streamlined pretty. Oh, and there's a yellow.
Oh.
And that changes everything.
And it's a reset, basically.
And I believe it's for the breeze. I see no skid marks.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, everyone from Curtis back took the caution. You can see here, they're just riding. We were about 6 laps away. Oh, and Gray's with a last-ditch effort for the lead. He's not going to get it. But that changes everything. Everyone will pit this time. And now, Charles, forget tire strategy. This is going to be the best equipment you can get. And looking at where things will line up, everyone's going to pit here on lap 59. They'll go 33 laps, and they should make it to lap 92, 93. So the last run,
be good to go.
The last run, Charles, if it doesn't, we don't have another caution, the last run will be 30 laps, and we were just about at 30 or 27 right there when Alex Gray was about to pass Jonny Gardner. So if it had gone green all the way, it would have been really close if you were on that second group. But now it will make things really interesting. Just to clarify, we're going to take a look at the replay, and we'll be back for the restart. We are back at Homestead, getting ready to go back racing. We are just past halfway. We will have, I believe, 59 laps to go. My math is correct, which I believe it is. 59 to go here at Homestead. Gardner comes out first out of pit road. DJ Curtis second. Andrew Rich third. Gray falls to fourth. Young up to fifth. Osborne sixth. Zach Rogers seventh. Hartnett eighth. Alves falls back to ninth. And Philip Goldberg sits in 10th. So Charles, what does this do? Because our other chasers here, Deaver, Seth Cole, and Zoerlein are still way back from Jonny Gardner.
Well, for the other three, it basically gives them a reset. Hopefully they get another adjustment there that will put them in the right direction. If I'm Jonny Gardner, I didn't want to see that whatsoever, especially for just debris. Because now everyone's right there with them, and it would have been an easy championship before that caution.
Andrew Rich seems to spin the tires on the restart. Gardner and Curtis driving away right now from the field as they get up to speed. Any moves to the inside right here on the start is a very good move, as Dylan Young made one on Alex Gray, and he moves up to fourth.
Yeah, and we saw in that last run, Gray was able to make moves towards the front. Didn't have so great of a pit stop, but hopefully they made adjustments in the right direction. He can put the fight to Jonny Gardner at some point in this race.
Man, and look at this 2-car out of Dylan Young. Now he's making a move on the man who's won the most races this season. Oh, Curtis was looking under Jonny Gardner. He could not quite get there. Now he's going to make the move again here down the back.
Dylan trying to also make it forwards 1, 2, 3 in this one.
And I just saw something out of the corner of my eye, and it was Cole Deaver on the bottom, 3 wide. Is trying to charge his way towards the front here.
They launched that car out of a cannon.
They got to do it fast. Up to 19th is Cole Deaver.
Only one more chance to adjust these cars too, so looks like they're heading in the right direction at least right now.
Oh yes, when these guys all pit again, it will probably be about 32 to go, so it will be a full run to end the race if it goes green. And Deaver's just got to work his way towards the front. He's got to stick it on the bottom.
Needs also for some people up there to start moving Gardner to the back.
And Gardner did fall to second place, but Rich is on the move on Dylan Young for third now. DJ Curtis leading this race. Curtis won back at Yas Marina. That was race 24 on the season. Gardner's not going anywhere. In fact, he's all over the back bumper of this 17 machine. And how interesting is it, Charles, that we've got 2 winners battling for the lead, and both of these teams are changing manufacturers, and they're both driving Fords.
Well, it bodes well for the other 4 teams that are sticking, because that equipment that these 2 are on has to go somewhere. And most likely, if someone's paying attention, it'll end up in one of those other 4 teams by next season. So,
indeed, and right now, off the top of my head, I know Penske is staying at Ford, as is Wood Brothers, but I cannot think of anyone else off the top of my head.
well, hopefully Ford just doesn't die out there. That would be unfortunate.
Oh, the 26, which is a single car team, their driver is returning. That's Mark Riggleman. That's 5 Fords. I can see him just there now at the corner of the back. Oh, there is Stuart Haas, which is just the 14 and the 41. So that's 2 more cars there. But I believe that's it.
That's a little bit unfortunate, actually. I mean, I like Chevys better anyway, but I always like to see at least some balance in between all the makes, at least for the series. For any series, at least.
Yep, and that is it for the Fords. Obviously, BMW will have 3. Audi will still have 2. Dodge is still set to only be at 4 cars. So, I mean, Chevy kind of renaissance, it seems almost. Chevy's trying to overpopulate. But next year will also be interesting, as there will not be 42 set teams. We're getting the inclusion of a lot of cars. In fact, Charles, one driver that is starting up a single car team that will drive a Ford next year is Levi McIntyre, set to drive the 99. So Ford will still keep one of their Fords in the field, and there's also rumors of another Ford team and maybe another Toyota single car team starting up.
No, that will always be good to see. It's good to get new teams every once in a while, just to kind of keep bringing in some new life for the series. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do.
As Curtis and Gardner continue battling for the lead, Dylan Young making his way towards the front as Zach Rogers sits in 4th place.
Just been silent all race long there. Just kind of, he started up front, but just kind of just lurked. Just kind of funny to say for a guy that starts like in the top 5.
He fell back to, I think, about 9th or 10th, maybe just outside in 11th. And he was just riding. He was back in the top 10 after the first round of pit stops in, I believe, 7th or 8th. Now he's fighting the top 5, but his teammate and good friend Andrew Rich is just going to drive right by him. Oh, and speaking of drivers, I forgot Stuart Haas Racing also has the 4. Here's Tony Green.
Of all the car numbers to get.
He has found his way into the top 10 now. Green, it's unknown where he will be next season. At this time, we know that Hoffman is the only one from Stuart Haas confirmed their return to the team. 41 of Alexander Rowe, also unknown where he may go. Deanna Jones, we've mentioned, confirmed her retirement about a few months ago. Inside scoop on Bulldog Motorsports. The teams of the 9, 19, 29, and 53. Pretty much everything is changing, Charles. Everyone's changing numbers from the sounds of things. Now, Deanna Jones did say that she will race the All-Star race next year since she did win it this year. But Rich is going from the 53 to the 23. Zach Rogers will be driving the 9 next season, and the 9 team will change to the 19 team. So basically, everyone's just switching numbers, and there is a yet-to-be-announced rookie driver for the 19.
Probably just some point situations there, looking ahead to next season for them. That'd be the only reason I could think of. But if they keep the team same, it should be same success, I would believe.
And with the 53 not returning, they're actually bringing in a new number since the 29 is also not returning as battle for the lead right now. And the new number is 39, also a new rookie driver for that car that has been announced. Marty Johnson will drive the 39. He is set to be sponsored majorly by New Era Caps.
Good company.
And Dylan Young, I believe, led the lap that time. So Dylan leading in the state he lives in. Young came very close to win at Richmond, but in the midst of a cycle of pit stops near the end of the race, a caution came out, and that put Dylan Young on the end of the tail of the lead lap. And I mean, they had the best strategy, Charles. They had pit really earlier than everyone else, and they were going to be about 5 seconds ahead of the rest of the field with 20 laps to go. Things were looking really good for Dylan at Richmond. That was the 4th race in the chase, I believe, and now he leads the field here. But Andrew Rich will drive right by him for second. So what an interesting change of things here, Charles. We're 17 laps in this run. In the first run, we had Gardner and Gray pull away from the field. Gardner stayed in the lead. Gray stayed at second, fell back. Others started passing him. This time around, we've still got 9, 10 cars right here, battling for positions.
I think part of that is in this one, we at least have everyone's restarted single file, so it just made it easier for everyone to already kind of not be battling, so that allowed them to stay a little bit closer this time. Whereas on the start, obviously, everyone's double file, so...
And of course, we had the first pit stop where adjustments were made, and we saw that Alves made a bad one. I think they didn't fix their issue. They're down to 16th.
Ooh. That's another guy who probably didn't want to see that caution then either, because would have rather just made the adjustment and gone the wrong way and still been up like 10th.
How about a guy that really has now shown that he'd love to see that caution? He's going for 13th on 2017 champion Caleb Hoffman. Cole Deaver is about to get the 13th after restarting 23rd.
And he was actually one of those that, if I remember correctly, actually moved up from the 30s to the 20s in that first pit stop cycle anyway. So they've been just making constant adjustments all night, and it's been paying off.
Indeed, Deaver started 38th. He was up to about, I want to say 32nd when they pit.
And I just saw Gardner in the same picture there for a split second.
And he's stuck behind Dylan Young as Andrew Rich and Curtis are on their insides. Insane battling now after that caution flag.
And we might actually get a decent championship battle here in the final race anyway.
And it wasn't looking like we were, but Cole Deaver is just continually riding up. Now he's on the inside of Peter Sands for 12th. And he just has to make sure he does not get put to the top because Gardner is being put to the top.
Now Gardner finally gets back to that inside line. He's going to go for 3rd here.
Look at the charge Curtis made mid-corner behind Andrew Rich. We just keep fighting for the lead here, Charles. It's insane. We're about 8 laps away from what will be our final pit stops.
And it's that battling that's actually keeping it to be that 10-car pack that you were talking about, because as opposed to some of these other runs, these guys just can't seem to figure out who's the fastest car and be able to just stay in line behind them and just work together that way. And it just keeps everyone really close together.
And how about Tony Green back to talking about the Tony Green in the 4. This man lost by a nose back at Auto Club in the 5th race of the year to Zachary Fitzwater Sr. That alone took them out of the chase, as he was, I believe, top 20, top 15 in the points at the end after Armory Digital. This man could have been in the chase, though he has not had the best chase races. I don't believe he would have been a Final Four driver, but he is looking to get his first career win after finishing last in points last season.
No, that'd be still an improvement. At least the bright side was this year it couldn't get any worse, and he made great strides, though.
And now another driver to talk about, Deanna Jones, up to 5th place now. She was also riding just inside the top 10 back when we were green flag racing. She has made her way up to 5th.
That's 11th for Deaver. 11th for Deaver now.
Just saw that out of the corner of our screen there. He just got by Diego Yepes. Oh, he's
31 is on the move.
Look at this move on a teammate, Alex Gray here. He's just got to make sure he doesn't make the wrong move, because Hoffman is right on his bumper.
Yeah, that's true. Hoffman and Deaver just been working their way up through the field on this run.
He's still got a great car. It's insane. I have not seen Zoerlein, but I do see Seth Cole. Seth Cole was in 42nd place, I think, just past Austin Alves. He
was dead last on the restart.
Now he's passing teammate James Shelley for position, I don't know, I'm going to guess 22nd, 21st? 23rd, actually. Okay, it was only one position. He must have had Alves at the line last time by, but Seth Cole has been on the move. This could
What a comeback for the 42.
I don't know if he's going to be close enough like Deaver is. Zoerlein, though. Oh, Zoerlein's been moving too.
Wow!
I didn't even see him. Zoerlein restarted 32nd, and he's about to pass William Brock for 17th.
Well, I guess they were listening to us.
I guess Jonny Gardner is really not happy about this caution now, Charles.
I guess the other 3 were listening to us or something, because they must have made radical changes. Deaver's going for the top 10.
He's already in the top 10. He already passed Alex Gray, who fell behind Caleb Hoffman, and now he's going for 9th on Zach Rogers.
Holy moly!
And we are about 5 laps away from pit stop, so pit stop strategy could be huge here. Meanwhile, Curtis and Gardner are pulling away from the pack, so Gardner is really minimizing his damage here.
He's trying. Now he's actually, we were saying earlier in the first half, looked like he was going to be able to ride. Definitely not. Oh, maybe not. I was going to say definitely can't ride now, but...
Deaver gets put to the top by Hoffman. He passed him about 9 laps ago.
He can lose just one spot. He's not going to be too bad off.
He needs to get back to the inside line. He's going to get a decent run off the corner here, especially with worn tires. He's got to get down in front of Zach Rogers here if he wants to
be able to do so.
Yep, and he will. Everyone seems to be starting the ride here. They know they've got to pit in about 3 laps. This is so intense, Charles. We usually do this every week. The last pit stop, we stay live. Oh, and Hoffman made the move on Osborne. Deaver, if Deaver had been able to enter low, he might have been able to get a better chance to get by Osborne.
Yeah, he was clear going in there, but the problem was Hoffman just had to get on the brakes or something going into the corner and screwed Deaver over a little bit.
Now Jonny Gardner has taken the race lead back. Once again, he passed DJ Curtis. Jonathan Zoerlein is on the top as Seth Cole and him are battling for position.
Yeah, that's for 3rd in points there.
Zoerlein has now fallen outside the top 20, so Zoerlein... Oh, and look at the move on Tringali here by Seth Cole as Deaver's pitting now.
Deaver's
putting
it all on the line here.
He's the first one down, Charles. He's pitting by himself.
That's bold. That might work for him, though, too. I mean, he's the only car in pit lane. He's not going to have any issues.
If Gardner doesn't pit here, it's going to cost him 5 seconds. But it looks like, I think he's coming down. Curtis is coming down. Gardner is not coming down.
Not. I'm surprised Crucci didn't tell him, hey, Deaver pit last time. I mean, he's got to see it there.
I think Zoerlein just came down pit road this last lap. I'm pretty sure I saw that Mountain Dew car.
If I'm Gardner, I'm telling the crew chief I'm pitting this time, whether you like it or not. minimize that damage. You got the title more important than the race.
And I think is he still going to stay out here? Nope, he's coming down. Deanna Jones will stay out, though, with a manual Hartnett.
I mean, those two, they don't have anything to lose. They can go for the win here.
Jones in her last career race will lead a lap. Zach Rogers, Peter Sands also staying out. Everyone else pits, including Seth Cole.
The only question is going to be, where does the 31 come out in comparison to the 32? Haven't seen the 31 yet. We saw him on the front straightaway that last time by.
There he is. He just went by as we sipped up the Owls. Let's see.
There's Hoffman. So was beneficial for Deaver in that respect.
Oh, I don't think.
That's Curtis right there.
Yep, he gets in front of Curtis. That's a good amount of distance right there. Even if these two draft up, it's not a big deal. Highest position out of the final four is what matters.
Where's Gardner?
Let's see, Gardner will be coming out of pit road this time by
that's
the
right.
32. He's on the access road right now. We'll go to our spectator camera. And there goes Cole Deaver.
Oh my! Wow!
And that is a huge amount of distance Gardner is going to have to try to make up here, but he will only fall to fourth.
And unfortunately, he's not going to have too much of help either.
Draft is huge. Oh, he might have a good chance here. Green's going for second.
Yeah, if Green doesn't clear him right away.
There's the last four. Deanna Jones leading that group out. We'll see where she falls up. Down the third right now. Or fourth right now, I'm sorry.
Fourth or fifth. Or fifth or sixth there. Wow, never mind.
I think just inside the top 10. So this will be the car to watch here in this last run, Charles. We're looking at 27 laps. 26 laps, actually, when they hit the line. And we know...
It's going to be interesting.
We know that Gray, who was, I believe, 1.2 seconds back. Now, that was with two groups. Jones is 6 seconds back. That's going to be tough. Gardner is 4 seconds behind Cole Deaver. But draft is
Deaver
everything.
might have made the call. Deaver might have made the call for the title there. Holy moly.
And Gardner's got a bumper full of cars who are getting his draft. Caleb Hoffman in fifth. Your defending champion finished fourth here last season. How about Mark Riggleman, the Daytona 500 pole sitter? Yet to get a win.
Hoffman's going to make that move. He made the move, but he didn't quite finish the move. Looks like Hoffman might have a faster car than Gardner. If I'm Gardner and I know this, let Hoffman go by and try and just let them catch Deaver for you.
Remember, it's only a 1 lap difference between these guys. Deaver is the one on 2 lap older tires than Gardner. Other thing to note, we didn't talk about him all night until now. Charles Jackson, the other of the 3 two-time winners from last year, sits in 7th. Shelley and Amato are nowhere to be seen. Jackson is close, but I don't think he has a shot to win at this moment. Dylan Young in 8th. Was putting up a pretty good fight. I just realized, where is Andrew Rich?
Oh yeah, he was top.
Oh, not bad. 12th place. Right at the end of this pack. It looks like there's a decent gap. Actually, no, there's not actually that much of a gap from 12th to 13th. As teammates are fighting right here.
Walls, wow. And Zoerlein's right there.
Oh, yep, and here's Zoerlein. We know he pitted in the second group, or the first big group. So he's 15th. Seth Cole pitted in the third. Where is Seth Cole? 25th. Okay.
That's about where he was, so they didn't do too bad a job on pit lane.
Now, here's an interesting thing to note, Charles. This happened at Auto Club, race 5. Everyone had pit. We had a caution come out. We had a restart with about 18 to go. Now, granted, it was Auto Club, but Peter Sands restarted 18th and had the freshest tires. It's hard to pass on the bottom at Auto Club, okay? He got up to 3rd before the tires were worn and everything. He ended up finishing 4th, but he went from 18th to 4th, Charles, in about 15 laps. So if we have a caution here, Seth Cole's got some pretty fresh rubber.
Never know. We'll see what happens.
Deaver still leads. Curtis, though, Curtis and Green with that draft are catching. I don't think Deaver will win this race. The lead is down to 3.4 seconds on Jonny Gardner. Gardner catches.
Whether or not he wins, that was a bold move and one he probably had to make, in all honesty, Cole Deaver. That was a brilliant call, whether or not it works out for him.
See 2/10 that lap for Jonny Gardner that Gardner gains here. Now Gardner has not yet caught Tony Green.
Looks like he's starting to a little bit. He's broken away from Hoffman, which is good.
If Gardner gets that draft, he will gain about a little more time a lap with coming to, I think we're at 20 to go right now. 19 to go, actually. With 19 to go. Okay, there's another 2/10. Okay, right now we're looking at 2/10 a lap. If it stays at 2/10 a lap, Gardner will catch in 15. However,
so 4 to go.
However, with Curtis and Green in front, also on fresher tires, one of two things will happen. Curtis and Green will catch Deaver first and pass him and send Deaver straight back to Gardner, or Gardner will catch Green and Curtis and struggle to get by them. It's 2/10 again this lap, Charles. It's just staying 2/10.
So right now we're looking at 4 to go.
Seems to be a 10th and a half for Curtis and Green, so Gardner is catching Green faster than Green is catching Deaver.
Well, but catching is one thing, passing is another, so maybe 4 to go when they catch. Can they still pass in those final 4 laps is going to be the question.
Oh, and Gardner just gained 3/10 that lap.
Oh, this is going to be tense at the end of this. Oh, my.
Now, Deaver will start getting a little push draft once Curtis catches up, but Gardner has gotten Green's draft. I don't know, Charles. It's going to be really close.
I'm very intrigued to see how this is going to go because
Eli Bright is 6 seconds behind Amato for last, so don't think we'll have any lap traffic play a role. No one's got damage anyways.
Yeah, but I mean, we also had that caution, which kind of think affected whether or not we would have had lap traffic. So I think that one caution kind of took that out of the question, which is obviously a good thing. We don't want lap traffic to really affect who wins the race or the title even. No one really likes that.
Gardner has worked so hard. He knows he doesn't want what happened last year to happen again. He was so close, yet so far in 2017. 5 positions, about, I think, 4 seconds behind Caleb Hoffman. And that gap is under 2 seconds to Cole Deaver with 15 to go.
Well, I think we can definitely confirm he will be at the very least closer to getting it this year than he was last season.
And there's no pressure from behind. Deanna Jones, Andrew Rich, the couple, the teammates, most wins in the Dodge stable are fighting for fifth place. So Gardner sees all this battling behind him. That's good for him. Now remember, Jones is on the freshest set of tires. Having Andrew Passer does not help
Gardner
her.
has caught Green.
Indeed he has. Now Jones, if Jones can get back by Rich really quickly here, she could have a chance to win this race. And yeah, look at this. This is a 1 lap difference right here. Another 3/10 for Gardner that lap. Oh, he couldn't quite get there though. That's gonna hold him up just a bit.
But now Curtis also starting to catch old Deaver. He's within a second.
Rich and Jones appear to be pulling away from the back. Gardner looking at
Gardner's going to get him this time.
Right off the corner is a tough spot. You can tend to lose some momentum. And it happened again, Charles. This is not good for Jonny Gardner. He just wasted a whole lap behind Tony Green. He is catching, but he's wasting. Oh, I think he's got him this time. He's pretty much there now.
Well, and to be fair to Green, I mean, he's not worried about the championship. He's got every right to still fight for third regardless of who it is. So, but he'll have to give it up there. So
Gardner will pass Green for third.
And DJ has caught Deaver.
Now, I will say this. Rich and Jones are flying up here. If one of them somehow catches Gardner before Deaver gets caught by Gardner, and they put Gardner to the top, that could make things really interesting. But Curtis is right here.
And it'll be 10 to go this time.
And Curtis has a huge run. This will be for the race lead off of turn 4. Coming to 10 to go. You got to give Deaver credit though in his crew chief for the strategy, and the same thing same thing happened there. This is going to let Gardner close up.
Well, to be fair to Deaver, he's got to. He needs to hold Curtis off for as long as possible.
And Curtis looked to maybe have gotten blocked off the corner a little bit there. Andrew Rich is flying up here, though. Rich, once again, Rich might be looking for that 8th win. But for the race lead, side by side, Curtis at the line, and 9 to go.
Now, if you're DJ, you need to let Curtis go quickly because you just need to get back to that inside line.
Oh, it's not looking good, Charles. Here comes Jonny Gardner.
Here comes Johnny. There's a movie line in there somewhere.
Johnny.
Yep. I'm like, there's a movie line in there.
Andrew Rich, though. Holy crap, Andrew Rich and Deanna Jones. And I don't even think Rich didn't even pit the same lap as Deanna Jones, and he's flown his way up front.
No, he didn't. Wasn't he the same lap as Gardner?
I want to say second group like Johnny, second big group like Jonny Gardner. Jones was in the last group.
Oh boy.
Here we go. Gardner's looking. He's looking low. It's about car length. Cole Deaver.
We use Tony Green as the indicator. Most likely it's going to be about 2 laps here for Johnny to actually be able to pass the 31.
Curtis would be looking for his second win on the year. But Andrew Rich is right here. Charles, Andrew Rich got by Tony Green.
Oh my. Oh, Rich is going to have a shot at getting second here.
Gardner's got to get to the inside of Deaver. Even if Rich gets to the inside of him, it would be 3 wide. Oh, Rich is holding high. I think he's being respectful. There's the move for the title.
Well, for the top spot at least. And Rich is going to help push him by.
And Rich will push Deaver to the top yet again. So Gardner with 6 to go passes Deaver for the top Final 4 spot. Now imagine if Andrew Rich was in the Final 4 right now.
Wouldn't that be something? Thing is, Rich now with getting Gardner past, I wouldn't put him past him to actually still make that move.
And Deaver is just plummeting now. He's falling all the way back to Deanna Jones. I think even if Rich passes Gardner here, it would not push Gardner back enough. You never know,
Probably
though.
Not.
Gardner's trying to get around Curtis. He wants to be a race winner and a champion, get his 4th on the season. But Andrew Rich is going to dive in into turn 3 as they come to 4 laps to go.
Meanwhile, Deanna Jones also made the move on the 31.
It's getting tough, though. It doesn't look like she's able to get by too easy. Rich will get by Gardner. Rich looking to set an impossible record to beat, and that would be 8 wins in a season, and he's already going on DJ Curtis here off of 2.
Going all staples on this.
And oh, he had to check. Oh, that pushes
but
Gardner
so did
to the top.
Gardner. Gardner had to check up as a result.
Oh, but Rich just has so much more mid-corner speed than DJ Curtis.
2 to go at the line, it looks like.
3 to go.
Oh, 3 to go. Okay, it's 8 and a 9 on a very small screen. Very similar.
So Rich will take the lead and will most likely not look back. Deanna Jones not close enough.
No, now can Gardner get second from Curtis?
Deaver will fall back to 6th place if Tony Green can get by him. And that will probably be where Deaver finishes. 2 to go now at the line for Andrew
Still
Rich.
a great call for the 31 team.
Oh, it was an amazing call.
Something.
It was an amazing
Had to do
call.
something.
And it was clear that they had made a great adjustment. If they maybe had pit the next lap, I don't know if they would have been really close, but
Hard to tell. I mean, then I'm trying to think if they pit 1 lap later, who he would have been around. He would have been right with one of those groups.
as they take the white flag, Gardner will make the move for 2nd place. But I don't think he's going to get there.
I'm just telling him, don't risk it. Come on, bring it home.
He didn't even try. He didn't have to check up. Curtis holds on there in 2nd. What a season for Andrew Rich. Won the first race of the season at Daytona on a green-white checkered finish. And now he will cap off his 8-win season, not as a champion, but it's really hard to surpass winning the first and last race of the season nonetheless. Andrew Rich wins at Homestead, and Jonny Gardner finishing 3rd will win the title.
Not bad, not bad.
Curtis in second, head of the team that will switch to BMW in 2019. Deanna Jones finishing fourth, a driver retiring. In fifth is a driver unknown where he'll be next season. Deaver, sixth, will drive the 3 for RCR. He'll look to go for the title again. What a great strategy call by this team. Alexander Rowe finishes 7th after missing the chase with his win from Provo. Dylan Young 8th, Alex Gray 9th, and Charles Jackson finishes 10th. But here from Homestead, that's it. That's all she wrote. Charles, the 2018 season is over.
Yeah, long season started Daytona, ends up finishing out here at Homestead, and great race. Definitely a lot better at the for the second half than it looked like it was going to be in the first half.
Sorry for that profanity on screen there. Unintentional.
But you're the one that saved the replay.
That is true. All right, looking at the rest of the finishing order, we'll go over some season highlights with these drivers here. Let's see, where is Joshua Osborne? Okay, Osborne finishes 17th. I believe that still gets him 5th in the standings, Charles.
Let's.
TJ Hanley was behind him, and I do not see Hanley in the top 28.
Well, so yeah, that basically does. Well, actually, then you have to worry about Andrew Rich getting the win there. That would have been the next competitor.
That is true. So Andrew wins. I don't think he led the most laps. I believe that was Gardner. That's 51 for Rich. Let's see here. 40 for 5th, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 30, 28 for Osborne. I cannot recall if he led a lap.
I don't remember seeing him lead a lap.
So 51 to 28. That would be 23 points. I believe Osborne still has a good enough gap on Rich. Yep, the gap was 27 to Rich, so I believe Osborne gets it by a point or two. I could be wrong though. You know, I thought I had the math figured out for going in the Rockingham, and I was completely wrong. I thought Rich was 4th in points, and he wasn't. He was 5th. So, how about top non-chaser? Let's see. Dylan Young came in as the top non-chaser, and he finishes 8th. And nobody finishing ahead of him.
No, yeah, no one
was even near him. So Dylan Young is the top non-chaser. How about that?
17th in points. Woo!
Let's see. Where did pole sitter Charles Sanford finish?
No. We were terrible.
35th, just about where he finished in the point standings. So.
You know what? Hey, it's still better than Hershey's finale.
How about this? Amato finishes 37th in his possible last career race, and Hanley, who is set to rumorly replace that car, finishes right behind him. John Arndt's dismal season ends again, 40th. That team has not been able to figure anything out consistently since the middle of last year. Oskin, unknown where he'll be. Same for Bright. Same for Goldberg. Quentin Moore is set to drive the 89 for Go Fast Petty Enterprises next year. Unknown where Shearer will be. Flickinger will stay in the 78. John Nunn, we don't know where that rookie will be. He won a race at Papyrus. So Bulldog Motorsports, Charles, is actually 2 for 2 for wins at Papyrus. So they got that going for him. Yepes, we don't know where he will be. It's rumored that Zach Flickinger's brother William will drive the 77 in 2019. Nothing changing for Nate Rogers or Nico Tringali, those two Red Bull Audis. Winless in their first year competition. They'll look to go for a win next year. Philip Parker, it's unknown where the driver of the 6 will be. Your 2017 Daytona 500 champion has not won since that first inaugural race. Peter Sands will return in the 12. Hoffman will return in the 14. William Brock is set to drive the 31 for RCR next year. That team expanding to 3 cars after 2 very successful ventures for Gray and rookie Cole Deaver. Hartnett, as we said, we don't know where he will be. Everyone else is pretty much staying. Zoerlein staying in the 5. Fitzwater will stay with GoFast Penny Enterprises. He will be driving the 59 Chevy SS. As we said, Riggleman will resume racing in the 26. He is set to have new sponsorship from IGP Manager. Interesting fact here, Charles, we're looking at only 3 rookies in the top 20 in the last race of the season. And only 1 was in the top 10, and that was title contender Cole Deaver.
Yeah, there you go. How many rookies in the field, though?
I believe we had 13. I can double check. Let's see. 1,
Oh,
2,
okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep. So we had 13 this year, and I do not know what the current count is for next year. I think it's like 4 or 5 guaranteed.
Yeah, at least it's less than mine. Mine always ends up having so many rookies.
So 2 Stewart-Haas drivers finished in the top 10, Green and Rowe. Unsure what they will be next year. So, yep. Off-season begins, Charles. And, as a kind of projection here in the last race, Seth Cole was dominant most of the season, finishes 23rd. Jonathan Zoerlein won 3 races, finishes 13th. Andrew Rich wasn't in the final 4, got 8 wins. By the way, he is the first to hit 6 intermediate wins. What does that mean for competition-wise? Rich and Gardner are still set to be the dominators on these intermediates.
Well, I guess it depends on how many intermediates are on your schedule.
I guess it does. I guess that does matter. Yes. Anyways, I mean that's it from me. Charles, you got anything to say? Go ahead.
Just congrats to Andrew Rich. Congrats Gardner on the title. While his series is in the off season, my series in full swing. If you want to come over to my channel and check it out as well. So.
And what is your channel again, Charles? Since I always seem to forget it.
Gordon Fan 291.
Okay, go check out Gordon Fan 291. Fun fact, didn't mention it. We've had NRSL President Dylan Young co-commentate on this channel before, and Charles is the vice president. I did not mention that at the beginning of the race, and I feel really bad, but I mentioned it at the end, so I think we're even.
True. To be fair, Dylan doesn't mention it too much outside of it anyway. We just kind of joked about it when I joined NRSL, so.
Indeed, and I have been a part of NRSL now for, I want to say, 2.5 years.
Yeah, about, because you didn't have a reserve for, you had a reserve for this season. It was your first one, and I took 3 years to finish the last season, so.
All right, anyways, I'm Zach Rogers, aka Bulldog Speed. Charles Sanford is Golden Fan 291. Check him out on YouTube. He's going into his 5th season for his Cup Series. I think the other 2 are the other 2.
The other 2 are in the 4, because when I started, I didn't have those 2 going. So, yeah.
So check out Golden Fan 291. He's pretty popular. I think he's more popular than me. Anyways, that's it from me at Homestead. So far in this series, we've got 2 Ford champions, both of which are, well, actually no, that's wrong. Hoffman went to a Chevy team and then changed it to a Ford team, and now Gardner, who was on a Ford team, is going to a
Chevy.
Changing his team to a Chevy. So
ironically enough, I kind of called it at the beginning because I said maybe the Ford can go and get it with Chevy having to spread the resources.
Looking at that top 5, it's 2 Dodges and 3 Fords. Anyways, that's it. I don't really have nothing to say. I'm just beating a dead horse right now. So hopefully Charles will commentate again with me in the future.
Hopefully, yeah.
And that's all I got. So enjoy your night. Andrew Rich was your winner. Jonny Gardner was your champion, and I will see you guys in 2019.